Hello, heroes and villains. Welcome to Multiverse. So as you can see, we are with our friend Nix the Black Mask.
Hey guys, yeah, today we're going to be going over the various base items throughout the years of 2017 up to today's 2021, where we're going to go over the antimatter base items, and we'll show you guys some of the good quality base items and some of the not so quality base items.
Well, there's a whole range of base items. There's one year where there was a lot of them, like I think it was 2019, where there was a lot of them, but it was pretty much a debris that you could add through your base. So we'll take a look at those in this video. So let's just start with the antimatter portal, invasion portal that you can see here. One thing that I didn't realize until I set up everything for this video was that this is actual a portal that you can use to go to the antimatter invasion zone. What I used to do with some of those portals is that I would put them on my teleporter, faking that this was actually my teleporter to take me everywhere. But I didn't realize that it actually works. You can warp basically to the Watchtower into the Metropolis Antimatter Invasion Zone using this portal. I assume obviously it's only going to work during the anniversary event. But it's actually a portal you can use as opposed to just being a decoration for your base, which was a nice surprise.
Yes, I remember I get these various base items for the 2019s, and this was one of those selections. You just have to have this as one of the base items. It's a little more expensive. I think it's 10 currency Guardian crowns, but you have to have it. I mean, it's such a nice little feature to have, and yes, it only works to get you to the antimatter area, only when it's January and it's in the event. So, for now, yeah. It's nice to have. Absolutely. You got to have it. It's a must-have, in my opinion.
So I guess we'll start with some of the recent we got this year. Basically, we got the loading screens from the past that were turned into posters we could put on our walls. So here you can see the small versions for the hero mentors, and there is also a small version for the evil villain mentors. We'll take a look at the big version in just a minute. There's some sort of window to I forget the name.
The Fortress of Solitude, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Could be.
So, oh yeah. This is a Kryptonian Sunstone window where we can actually see sort of inside the Fortress of Solitude. And we also have a floor-based item that does a similar thing.
I was just saying, there's a lot of detail when it comes to these various windows that you guys are going to see. You can just see the amount of extra work that got put into making these so significant and so surreal looking. You'll notice even on the things that we're standing on. You might notice it in that new raid, in that second boss fight. There's a couple of areas that look just like this. If you stand on them, you can almost see your reflection under it. It's pretty cool. These are well put together base items this year. Very happy with this set.
People keep on asking for an upgrade in the graphics for DC Universe Online, and technically we are getting some sort of upgrade. Whenever they add some new stuff in the game, you can tell that they are upgrading the quality of the items a bit compared to what we used to get in the past. And of course, obviously, there's supposed to be a big graphic update in the third quarter, I think, of 2021. So
that sounds right, yeah.
But in the meantime, whenever they add the new stuff to the game, they actually do upgrade the graphic a little small piece at a time. So here we can see a whole bunch of scattered papers we can get also.
Yes, 2019, where anything and everything was a base item in the anniversary event.
Oh yeah. So you can see there's a whole bunch of debris, and you can see there's some helicopters that I guess they love having helicopters crash because you can see the helicopter crashed in the wall, it crashed in the ceiling, it crashed on the floor. So there's a lot of base items, but a lot of them are kind of similar. But if you want to recreate some sort of a big crash or big bases that is all broken up, as you can see, you have a lot of options to do that. And we have a few more up here. So there's a lot of broken asphalt and broken rocks and broken sand and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like I said, 2019 has some very oddball choices of base items, but there are a couple of gems. That's absolutely true.
So there's a few more rocks down here. I couldn't fit them all here. But one of the really nice base items, you can see that huge invasion window. I probably showed it a bit previously in the past. I have it in one of my on my bases. But you can see it here. It's a pretty awesome looking window. And there's this one, and there's also a smaller version. So depending on what you prefer, you have some options. And here we have the exobyte, like there's some exobyte stations and exobyte screens that we got. It's some Star Labs, basically base items. We got those in 2017. Some of the first base items we got, if I recall correctly, in this Universe Online. And they're pretty cool base items. It gave us some nice. I think that's when we really started to get some superhero base items, as opposed to getting couches and frames and refrigerators. These were some really nice base items we started getting way back when.
If you're trying to figure out where do we get these particular base items, they are the random drops that you could get when you run the raids of the current anniversary event. You could find them in some random boxes. They're a lot of exobyte, if that's the key word that you're looking for. They're not very expensive, considering they were a 2017 base item. But yeah, like Multi has pointed out, there's some really nice bases here. I mean, you can even use these some of your main tables or terminals if you wanted to use them, and some nice looking screens. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, as Nick's mentioned, these are random drops, so you cannot purchase them from the vendor. We'll take a look at the vendor in just a minute. I saw some of you guys that still had a lot of questions, mainly where is the vendor? So we'll take a look at that in just a minute. And here you can see some of the bigger posters. So you can see they're pretty big. So if you have a small layer, sadly it's going to be challenging to be able to use those portraits. So you're going to want to use a somewhat bigger layer, or you're going to want to use them in your league hall if you have one. And here we have some items from, are those from 2020, Mr. Nix?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. So there's a whole bunch of lava-inspired base items that seems to come from last year.
Yes, that was the key theme of 2020. It was lava. How can we get it into a base item, and how can we work with it? And they did it. It looked quite nice, some of these base items.
So you can see a lot of lava. If you have I assume if you have a fire base, or this would probably be great in a volcano layer, to come to think of it.
Oh, absolutely, definitely, yeah. Or a hive base. I think this is where it originally got inspired from that hive and machine raid. Some of these items just came right straight from there.
And here we have a little window to Quard, if I recall correctly.
Yep, that's right. Again, just the outlining of the window, the detail that's in behind it. Like I said, you can look at this. Oh, I destroyed it. You can look at it from multiple angles, but like in the end, like you just see the quality that's in behind some of these items.
So the portal actually comes from that batch of base item. So you have a little wall also we can use as some sort of brick wall.
Yep, it's a standard, nice looking wall. Yep, for sure.
And I love that big, huge lava flow. It's a pretty cool one.
Yep, absolutely. So I have it in one of my biggest league halls. Yep.
So when you purchase it, be careful. There's a huge, I think it's called the lava sprout. There's a large one, but there is a smaller one too. So if you want the big one, I don't buy the smaller one by accident.
Yep.
And now we're going to go into the big room where we have some of the bigger base items. So this is pretty much the base items from this year. The exception to that is all the signs over there. Sadly, I had no other room where to put them. So all the signs over there are from 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah, 2019.
Ultimately, it doesn't really matter. You can get them all from the anniversary event. So the anniversary vendor. So there's the 10th anniversary banner that we got this year. As you can see, there's a huge Speed Force tunnel.
God, it is so awesome. I mean, I can picture of a dozen different ways of how I would use this, and like multiples of it to fill a base if it has the room. That's the problem.
Yeah, you pretty much need this big room to be able to use it, or you could use it in a league hall. If you have a league hall, purchase half a dozen of those and create a huge speed tunnel in your league hall. Oh, that could be an option.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
So there's a 10th anniversary cake that we can have as a base item. And here you can see the bigger version of Superman, of Batman. The bigger version for Joker and Lex Luthor. There's also a few, for the Speed Force tunnel, there's also a Speed Force wall you can use. You could probably plug the end of the tunnel if you want to with the walls. Mm-hmm. And there's also a ceiling, a version you can use for the ceiling. So there's quite a few of those you can actually use. And the pièce de résistance is the Triumph statues. I have a couple here. We're going to go to Nick's base. Nick has all of them. So you can see there's our friend Doomsday over here. There's a Trigon. For Ultraman, as you can see, the cape is missing. There was a note in the patch way back when, where they did mention that the cape is missing. They will fix that in a future hotfix. So he doesn't have his cape just yet, but he should get it eventually. So we have the Batman who laughs, the evil Brainiac, and Omac.
Oh yeah, the Brother Eye looks pretty awesome, I gotta say. Again, the detail is in behind the amount of work that they put into these statues. And I'll show off the rest of them. The only reason why Multiverse doesn't have these ones is because there are particular raids that these are required in order for you to be able to purchase them from this current anniversary event. So maybe that's what we'll do this coming Friday, is we'll run those extra raids so Multiverse can complete a set. And yeah, we'll check out the rest of those in our base, in my base.
And if some of you guys, like, one of the issues right now is that playing some of those raids is challenging right now because there's not that many people that seem to be willing to run those raids. So if some of you guys want to run those raids Friday, we'll put a group together. So if some of you guys need those raids to be able to purchase those statues, come by Friday and we'll try to put groups together to do that. So let us go to Nick's base.
Let me be very clear. Not many people have access to this base, or that live to be able to see this kind of a base. I don't just share this base with anybody. Now, if you want to, you can have a quick look. I don't mind if you load a little bit around. You can have a look at my statues. I have them all set up in this room. They don't really belong, because this is a Nick's school, so I wouldn't probably have these statues around, but you can have a look to see the differences of these items of what he doesn't have. For example, Barbados. Pretty massive. He's a tall guy, that's for sure. A lot of detail in him.
I'm a bit surprised, though. I did play that raid, so I'm not sure why I don't have it.
Oh, I'm not too sure. Necron? You gotta have Necron. How have you not done Blackest Night? That was such an iconic raid.
I've done it, but at the time, my main character was my villain on PC, I think, because I hopped. My main changed as years went by. My first main was the Phantom for about a year and some change, a year and a half maybe, and then it became Magneto. And then afterwards, I started playing more on PC than on PlayStation 3 at the time. So I kind of skipped a few DLCs on PS3 because I played them on PC, and then I came back on PS3. So it's my main change throughout the years, depending if I was playing on PS4 or PS3 or PC, and also depending if I was playing more on the hero side or the villain side. So there's a whole bunch of reasons. So I probably played it with another character, possibly on PC. So that's why I don't have it with my multiverse.
I mean, in my alliance that I'm with, in my league, we run Blackest Night about once every week, just because it drops the Death Vest and it sells for as much as what it does. And the last baseline that you don't have is this handsome chap here, Darkseid.
Yeah. Well, also I didn't have Validus, which pretty sure I played.
Really?
I did play the Legion raid, so I probably just didn't purchase it. I don't know.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, there's a lot of detail within him. Yeah, there's a lot there. Yeah, I would have thought for sure you could have. Yeah, maybe you just forgot about it.
Well, I played the Legion raid, I think, with you, so
yeah.
I just didn't buy it from the vendor, I think.
And then we'll have to do DWF.
The shoulders look weird on Darkseid, though.
It always has been.
I actually have those shoulders, and doesn't look like that on my character.
Yeah, like I said, the art style when DWF was the current DLC, yeah, a lot of people had said that Darkseid just looked pitiful, and this is it essentially. Not that great.
Well, they went also with the new 52 version of the character, which is not the best design. I love Jim Lee's artwork, but design-wise, he's very often he does weak designs, but his art is so strong that he takes a weak design and makes it look good when he draws it. But then when someone else tries to draw it, doesn't look as good because often they don't have as strong a style as Jim Lee. So you need a strong artist to be able to save a poor design sometimes. Jim Lee manages to do it, but when people try to draw a Jim Lee design, often they fail epically. And the new 52 Darkseid is probably an example of that.
Oh yeah. Alright, well, I guess only from here Do you want to keep looking at the rest of the base?
Oh, sure, sure.
It's up
We
to
could
you.
take a quick look. I'm sure people will enjoy seeing your little Batmobile and your imp.
Well, this is the kindergarten room.
Yeah, I can tell. Lucky you, you got the Batman versus Superman poster. Were you able to get the grab
Uh-huh.
bag or the swag bag, or is it something you purchased after on the broker?
Uh, I believe I did. Not sure what I've done with it. I forget now at the moment. This is an art room or a reading room or
Ah, come on,
whatever you
villains,
want.
they can't read.
Ugh, at this school you can. You gotta learn.
Oh, let's
You
go
gotta know what
upstairs a
you're doing.
bit. I guess this
It's
is
my
your
science lab.
chemistry lab.
My science lab. Yeah, every school has a science lab. Took a lot of time getting these various base items to work that way.
Oh, I'm sure it did. People don't seem to
And if
understand all the work it requires either to farm for the base items or to farm for the cash to purchase those base items from the broker.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like you wouldn't even believe like some of these various base items of how much they could cost. This is the principal's office here. Sure you figured that one out. It's where I send anybody who's not working properly, and their locker rooms are over here to finish up. Not bad. I like it. I put a lot of time into it, so I'm stuck with it.
You did good, good sir.
I did. All right, let's head on over to your Brainiac base and check out those 2018 base items.
So here you'll see a whole bunch of Brainiac base items. Basically, what I did way back when, I would play the Brainiac the anniversary event missions with a lot of my characters, and then I would take all the Brainiac base items and I would send them to this character. So I was able to more or less fill up the base with a whole bunch of Brainiac base items. I probably purchased a couple also from the broker as well. And in some cases, I was able to kind of redecorate like the mainframe. Instead of having the mainframe, the default mainframe that the base has, I kind of created a new mainframe using some of those base items.
I like it.
So the same here for the
So,
bank, and so it's something I kind of like to do when I can.
obviously, the theme, guys, if you haven't figured it out already, because I know it's been so long for some of you, is the very introduction mission when you start the game. People have been asking for these base items for years, and then finally in 2018 they said, "All right, we'll cut off some of them and we'll make them."
So at this point, these are random drops. Although I think there's a box we can also purchase. We'll take a look at that when we go see the vendor. And in
That's
some
right.
cases, there'll be like a big version. Like you can see those big pillars here. There's the big version that you see. But you'll see there's also a smaller version we'll take a look at in just a minute. There's also a few other base items like the metal posters. I love those posters. So again, here I pretty much disguised my crafting station using those base items or the R&D vendor for that matter.
Very nice.
And let's go to the
Yep,
big room. So you see the smaller version of those pillars, and you can see the bigger version there.
if I'm not mistaken, these are not solid. You can go through them if I'm not mistaken.
Some you
Yeah, it's
can
a little
go through,
disappointing.
some are solid.
Yeah,
It depends.
wish they were a little more solid. Oh, they like these guys. It's really weird if I can go through this. Oh well.
Well, sometimes
Again,
the fact that you can clip them through some things, yeah, it allows you to place them a bit better.
again, like I said, the attention's in the detail, and you see the different styles of what was made. It's good.
Obviously, for those who are wondering, this is the Brainiac layer. It's one of the layers that you can purchase from the marketplace, and it has the big room, obviously, that you can see. So as Nick's mentioned, this is pretty much inspired by the well, not just the first mission. There's also a couple of missions we play in the Brainiac ship, if I recall, but it's been a while, so I may be misremembering.
No, you're right. Brainiac bottle ship. There's a raid. There are some pieces, not a whole lot, but some of these pieces do come from that raid. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, and something I almost forgot to mention: these antimatter portals. I love those.
Oh, the skull one. Yeah, it's the skull, I believe. It's solid.
So there's two ways to be able to get those items. Well, technically three ways. One way is to purchase. You can purchase some of them from the anniversary event vendor. Others will be random drop when you play the. Do you have to play the anniversary event, or is it random drop everywhere?
It was only in the anniversary event.
Okay, so if you play the anniversary event, whether the open world missions or even better yet the raids I should say, because there's two of them now. So you should be able to. Sometimes when we get reward boxes, one of the items you'll get from those reward boxes will be a base item. The other option, of course, would be to buy some from the broker. Which brings me also to often people will ask, how can you make money in this universe online? This would be one way. Get some of those items, put them on sale for sale on the broker, or even better yet, get farm for those items, keep them in your bank until next summer, and then next summer you should be able to purchase them for a bit of extra cash.
Malty, I get this, man. You've shown us all these different base items. Let's just cut to the meat and potatoes. What the people want to know. Where do we get these base items?
Let's take a look. So once you get to the anniversary event map, you have to go and see the little vendor over here. One other question that keeps on coming back is, how can you get to this vendor? The simple answer would be you go to your map menu, you go to the warp menu, and you'll see in your warp menu the anniversary antimatter zone. So that is the simplest way to be able to get to the vendor. So if we take a look at the vendor, so it's the equipment supplier AE.
Is there anything I can help you with?
So if we scroll back past the flash style, so you'll see the various statues we can purchase. There we go. For some reason I hadn't purchased the Validus. Let's do that right now. So you can see there's Typhon that somehow I can purchase just yet, Necron, and Darkseid. So if you guys want to be able to get those items as well, Friday we'll try to put a group together to go play those missions. Because sadly you can see there's requirements. I'm not sure why the Brainiac. Strange. I did purchase a Brainiac. There's something strange here. Obviously you saw the Brainiac in my lair.
You
so
purchased? Yeah.
So I'm not sure why it's anyway.
Oh, that's funny. That's yeah. These statues are so glitchy as to what you need to complete.
So anyway, technically you're supposed to play the Brainiac Prime Battleground raid. So anyway, normally you should be able to purchase those items when you play the appropriate raid. And again, if some of you guys are missing some of those raids, I will try to play them on Friday if you like. So I can see the Speed Force wall. I think that is the huge one. Oh, no, that's not the huge one. I think the tunnel then. So there we have the Sunstone crystal window, which allows us to see in the Fortress of Solitude. So here we have the Speed Force Archway. So you can see it's a pretty big base item. But all the base items cost 6 400 crowns each. So it doesn't matter if it's a huge one or a smaller one. It's pretty much all the same price. And if you go back, if you continue, you'll see the items from the previous years. So there's no reason why you cannot purchase any of the items from the previous years. And if we go all the way down... Also, for some reason, I've seen some people who were saying that they could not purchase the Anti-Monitor style from this vendor. So as a side note, the Inertron style, that is the Anti-Monitor style. So I wouldn't be surprised if people come to the vendor, they look for Anti-Monitor, they don't see the name, and they don't realize that the Inertron style is the same. And there's our friend the Crypto also we can purchase here. We can purchase also the Antimatter modes. If you want to be able to craft the enhanced version of the, what's it called again? Exobyte Origin style, you'll need those Antimatter modes. So you can see a few quad bombs, a few shields, some of the previous base from the previous collections from the previous years. And here you can see this Brainiac base item box or Anti-Monitor base item box. So as we mentioned, the Brainiac base item box, the Brainiac base items or the Anti-Monitor base items, nowadays these are random drop as you play the Anti-Monitor missions. But you can also purchase boxes that would give you some of those items. And last but not least, we have the Dark Knight's Metal Emblem Cache. So here you can see the various emblems from the various evil Batman from the Dark Multiverse. There's a cool red Nightwing here.
Actually, that's not bad. Alright. So there are large base item boxes that you can be gotten from these various weeklies and dailies that are out here. So this one here has the Purge the Merge mission, and here we'll complete out the mission where you have to go beat up some Shadow Archons, and then you'll get a loot box. And that loot box could very well have those random 2017, 2018 base items that we've talked about, as well as some collections and drops. But also, this one here, the lowest lane one, is another weekly, where you're going to complete these various Nurse Maxwell missions and come back over here, and after you do those 3 dailies, you'll get another giant loot box. And again, your chances of getting those base items comes right back again. And last but not least is this one here. It's a daily, and you go inside to do the E3 daily mission, and you'll get a basic loot box, and it could have a base item of what you're after. So all of these various methods of what we've shown you guys, that is how you get those. And also through the raids as well. So there's multiple ways, in case you're wondering.
So before we end this, let's give a gracious thank you to Mr. Nix, who was good enough to farm to get some of those base items. Actually, almost all of those base items, so that we could make this video. Thank you, good sir.
No, you're welcome. You're welcome.
So
for the viewers, for them to see, why not? Enjoy, guys.
So Friday, we will try to make to form groups to play some of the raids. If you guys are willing. Ideally, we should use people who have a character that's combat rating 290, so that we can pretty much play any of the raids. It would be sad to have to kick some people out if we want to play some higher level raids, and they don't have the combat rating for it. Any last word, Mr. Nix?
Yeah, just enjoy. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It took a lot of time to get all these various base items. I think just the 2019 base items alone, even though they weren't as detailed, there was like 64 base items. So I mean, it definitely took a long time to gather them all up. I don't mind. My whole purpose of why I send you these base items is because I want you to feature these base items to show the people what were these base items like in these years and what kind of quality were in behind them. And I enjoy walking through them with you. So yeah, I don't mind doing this at all. Thanks for letting me have it.
You're welcome, good sir, and thank you for everything you did. So that's going to be pretty much it for now, guys. So as always, thank you for watching, and we will see you guys next time.
Take care.
If you have any questions, feel free to ask so in the comment section down below, and also what I can do about answering your questions. I have roughly 2,000 videos about this Universe Online at this point, so if I don't answer your question right away, just search in my videos. Odds are I already made a video that answered your question. Or click one of the videos that you see on your screen right now. Bye-bye.